So I think we will begin, although our ranks are a little lean, and want to welcome everybody to this first of the year Victoria Publications Committee meeting, where the Executive Committee and the Publications Medical Affairs Group of our two sponsors come together. This meeting, I hope you will find rich in content, and you've seen a fair amount of the material that has been forthcoming. And Cindy, if you would just go to the next slide. We have a number of people who are zooming in, and we have three of our executive committee who will be joining us during the meeting. Justin Ozekowitz in about 30 minutes, Adrian Hernandez and Javid partway through the meeting. And I'm keen that the discussion engage them in the second part of the meeting on two fronts. Adrian will provide us with the latest update on the ACCHA guidelines, which are being released. Rob Mentz tells me at 2 o'clock this afternoon, so we'll be able to get them while they're still wet. And Javid, I've asked to be here to participate in the discussions relative to the state of play of Victor and how some of the work that we propose in Victoria will potentially integrate and be complementary. And if I can go to the, I don't have the slides up yet.
Just making sure that the virtual team has it.
I see. Okay. The first slide that I was, if you, I see, okay. So, no, it's before that. It's not, this isn't the right deck, okay. So this is not the deck that I sent this morning. So, okay, so had I been able to show you the slide that I wanted to, I would remind you that in March of 2015, 7 years ago, many of us met in San Diego to discuss the possibility of the Victoria trial. And over subsequent several months, we finalized a protocol on the 1st of April, April Fool's Day 2016, precisely 6 years ago. On the 10th of October 2016, we randomized the first patient in Israel, and 18 months later, on the 21st of December 2018, we randomized the last patient. And 2 years ago, almost to the day, we presented the final results of Victoria at this meeting in March 28th, 2020, and published our work in the New England Journal of Medicine. So this meeting today is actually quite, I think, timely and prophetic in a sense that it is also the time when the data sharing agreement comes into play and where we can reflect on some of the accomplishments that the Victoria Study Group has made and think a little bit about the future. So I will go to that deliverable slide that was up earlier, if I can see it now. I thought that it would be worth reflecting on 5 deliverables from today. The first is to make sure that we're on the same page about what we have learned and what is in progress, and to get your advice and counsel and thoughts about that. Second, to evaluate where the field is of heart failure with reduced ejection fraction and how it might, could, or should influence what we do as we move forward in the process of discovery. And that will help us consider some of the new topics that we put forward that we believe are appropriate and timely, and we expect that our sponsors will wish to support those efforts, because we know that it'll be some years before the results of Victor are known, that obviously keeping Vericiguat in the eyes of the clinical and the academic community will be important in that interval. Towards the end of the meeting, we'll review some requests very briefly that have come forward in the data sharing agreement that we want you to weigh in on. And finally, we'd like to leave with a good sense of next steps and future directions and future meetings. If we can go on to the next slide. So this is our agenda, and I think the print copy is in front of you, but we'll take the first hour, I think, to reflect on the progress. I will say that we'll try to make, my microphone is live, and obviously if somebody wants to make a point, then I'll turn off and we'll engage that. And we'll encourage our colleagues to raise questions on the Zoom, and there'll also be some additions there. The other thing I'll point to is that at 3 o'clock we're going to move to a series of working group sessions around these 5 topics. And obviously all of you are welcome to participate. We're inviting some members who are national leads and others to join us during these sessions. And as you'll learn, my colleague, Dr. Westerhout, has worked hard with her group and with Kevin Angstrom. Is Kevin yet on virtually? I'm not sure he is, but that'll be important. Okay, so let's move on then to some of the work that has been done and is being done. So this, now I can't go back, I guess. Can you go back for me? I'll get you this. Can you folks in Command Central back there go back a slide, or is that not possible? Good, thank you. So in gray are the work that's published, and in green is the work under review, and as you'll see in yellow are some of the promissory notes. So we obviously published our protocol in Dr. O'Connor's reputable journal in 2018, and we published the baseline data in the European Journal of Heart Failure and compared it with Paradigm and characterized, I think for the first time, the high-risk nature of the population and also the impact of the index events as it relates to the natriuretic peptide, which has become obviously a central focus of our understanding. With the DCRI team and Rob Mentz in the leadership position, we published a prognostic model, which I think has proven useful, and we'll come back to that in the Journal of Cardiac Failure. And simultaneous with the primary paper, we published the context of Victoria with Javid Butler in the lead position in circulation to highlight that one needs to consider the absolute versus the relative rates of outcomes, and we compared it with Paradigm and DAPA at that time. I notice for the first time that, ladies and gentlemen, that the primary paper is not on this list, but it was, in fact, of course, published, as I've said, on the 28th of March in 2020. We then moved to explore, because of the quartile pre-specified findings of the upper quartile on the impact of baseline natriuretic peptide on the result, and showed how impressive a cut point of 4,000 and 8,000 were as it relates to a positive and statistically significant effect on the primary composite outcome. We then explored anemia, which we've learned something about but still do not understand the mechanism, published in Circulation. And then, of course, we also characterized the importance of the index admission, and we'll come back to that